share a good morning. Karibuni sana. I hope you can be able to see me well. Karibuni sana sana. You can share on the chat. Good morning. Just say a good morning on the chat. You can also tell me where you're watching the webinar from. I would love to hear where you're watching the webinar from. You can also invite a friend, tell them that we are online so that they can come in and we learn together. The webinar is free of charge. So just share the meeting code, the link, share to someone that you believe they are going to benefit out of our training today. So we are talking about eTIMS. I know it's a very good topic, especially at this particular point. I know most of us have been struggling on how to use eTIMS. So today we are discussing eTIMS. I know we've been discussing, we discussed last week, but the finance bill. And I hope you are able to hear the finance bill. And I know that you've been reading it. This is the time for public participation. I don't know how many of us have done public participation. Good morning, Margaret from Little Falls Tea Garden, oh, home of specialty tea. Margaret taking time to advertise her business, specialty tea. Thank you so much. We are so happy that you came in. I can see Nairobi, Patrick from Nairobi. I can see Ukunda, Kevin, Karibu sana, Mombasa, Evans, Roiro Kennedy, Nyeri, Sarah, Karibuni, Industrial Area, Jonathan. Karibuni sana, sana, sana. Are you ready to learn? Good morning, Kara Kuta. Okay. So I also want to ask, is it your first time? Is it your first time to join us? Is it your first time to join us? If it is, you can say a yes. If it is your first time, I can see my co-host had shared some links there. Okay. So if this is your first time, you can say, oh my goodness, I can see so many yeses. Oh, Neema, Jonathan, Kate, oh my God. Where have you been? Linda, we've been doing this, like, I don't know, like since COVID, like 5 years I've been doing webinars. Where have you been? So we've been learning each and every month. So I welcome you. If this is your first time, I welcome you to be together with us. And I also request that you can go ahead and look for us on our social medias. You can go on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and search for us, RWK Africa. Follow us so that we always post this every time there, so that you can be able to be part of the team and to be learning with us. So for the first timers, karibu sana. You can also search me online, Dr. Regina King'ori, CPAK. You're gonna see me somewhere, and I'll be sharing the notes for today. I'm going to share with you the notes for today. And there is a link that is going to be shared. There's a link that is going to be shared on the chat. So my co-host, you can share, is a registration link. When you register there, you write your email. We are going to be sharing the notes with you. So that, because today actually we prepared over 70 slides. So it's going to be marathon. So you have to pick it and do it on your own, because it's more practical. eTIMS is more practical. So if you have the eTIMS machine, you have the eTIMS client, you can go ahead and and practice what we are going to learn today. So it is going to be extremely practical. So karibuni sana for that. And we're going to talk about eTIMS. If you have a challenge with eTIMS, if there's a problem with it, you're going to listen. I'm also going to share some how to navigate through it at the tail end. So I'll share if whatever I've shared is not part of your issues, you can write your issues on the chat and I'll have time to answer your chat. So the email we are sharing on the registration link, So my co-host kindly share the registration link so that you can write your email there. So without further ado, let's go to the training. So let me ask one more question. Are you using eTIMS? Are you using eTIMS? And which version are you using? Is it a machine? Is it eTIMS client, the one that we download? Are you using the code, the *22# hash? Are you using eCitizen, iTax portal? Have you integrated with your software? Which version? Where are you? So let me read a few so that I can know who am I talking to. So answer me, do you use eTIMS and which one, which version, or how are eTIMS online and also ETR? Thank you, James. Thank you, James. So I don't know how you integrate both, although at the moment you can. That is something that was not there prior. So if you chose eTIMS online, you couldn't be using a machine. But right now you can use eTIMS across board. You can have a machine, you can go to iTax, you can, and it will still give you all that data together. So I can see eTIMS online mostly. Most of us are using eTIMS online, eTIMS client. Have you integrated it with your accounting software? How many are using the integrated version? Do you have the machine that you buy, the machine that we buy? So I can see we are using eTIMS, so which is very, very important. So let's go to, so I know I'm having the right people with me. Let's go direct to the training. I hope you can see my notes. So if you can see my notes, you can say a yes. I want to see I'm at the content level. So let me see one yes so that I can proceed. So yes, okay, Sawa. So let's proceed. So this is what we'll be talking about today. Okay, just a minute. So I will talk about eTIMS overview. The recent changes. There are some changes that are happening, and eTIMS has been going through a process of enhancement. So I'll talk about that. Procedures for eTIMS sign up, procedures for eTIMS registration. administration, navigating eTIMS client, navigating eTIMS portal. So we will handle both the client and portal, then emerging issues in eTIMS, auto population and pre-filing. I know so many of us are having a challenge with the pre-filing. I'll talk about it. And also talk about special table and buyer initiated invoicing. You can initiate an invoice as a buyer. So if you get a supplier or someone you're buying from somebody and they're not giving you an eTIMS, you can do reverse invoicing or you can initiate an invoice. So I'll talk about it. And then challenges faced by eTIMS. Of course, it's a system. It is going through a lot of challenges. I'll mention the challenges. So let's proceed. So eTIMS overview. eTIMS is electronic tax invoice management system. Is a software solution that provides taxpayers with option for simple, convenient, and flexible approaches of electronic invoicing. And I don't know how many of us are using the ODTRs. No, for me, I guess I've done tax long enough. So there's a time that we were filing the manual recording where there was an ETR, of course, but you record your manual. There's a sheet to get from KRA. You record your sales, you record your purchases, you attach the Z report, and then you even photocopy your receipts and you put them in a file and you take to KRA. That was before 2014, actually, before eTIMS, before iTax came to be. So I think there have been a lot of changes from manual recording. We came to iTax when we needed to now file VAT online. And it was something huge, by the way, for us to be able to transition from the manual recording now to VAT online filing. Then we've come a very long way. Then one time we were told that there's a system coming that is called Tax Invoice Management System. It was actually TIMS before we came to eTIMS. That was going to be getting introduced. And I want to share the difference between ETR, TIMS, and eTIMS, the three systems, so that you can understand the reason of the integration and the difference between these three systems. The ETR was an independent machine. There was no connection to your laptop, no connection to iTax, no connection to anything. So it was having a lot of manipulation. So actually, at that particular point, you could raise an invoice to a customer, but when you come to filing, you look at your Z report and say, for this month, my Z report is 10 million. But because you don't have purchases, you don't have input VAT, you reduce that 10 million to 7 million. Nobody would notice because this machine was independent. It was in your office. And in any case, during an audit, this machine was also due for a lot of manipulation. Actually, there are people, technicians, who would manipulate that machine. So that was ETR, independent, no recording, no nothing that is happening. It was upon you to share the correct information. So we came to TIMS. The idea of bringing TIMS on board, and at that particular time, if you remember, KRA first introduced something we called VAA, where they were trying to match the purchaser and the buyer. We were calling them inconsistency, VAT inconsistency. So the idea was that the supplier and the seller and the buyer should match. So if I bought from you, for instance, something that is worth 500,000, you gave me an invoice. So for me, I'm the buyer, but for you, you're the seller. So when I come to do VAT, that 500, I should have same amount, same date, same everything, same invoice number from my side and your side. But what used to happen, you sold me 500, but when I came to file, I have all the other documentation properly, all the recording properly, date, amount, no date, an invoice number, but when it came to amount, I would write a million, 1.5. So actually, at that particular point, when we did the VA, when KRA did the VA, they said only 20% were able to match. So you can imagine 80%. At that also particular point, we had issues of invalid invoices, missing trader, and so many things. And for you who is asking what is invalid invoice, is an invoice that is being created. There is no actual sale, there's nothing, but you need purchases. It is created that you purchase something worth 3 million or 4 million so that you can get that input VAT. So which is, it was illegal, and it was so hard to be able to track them. So when TIMS came on board, it was supposed to give information about the business that you're doing every day to KRA. So when you input data on the machine, for instance, when I come as a customer and I buy goods worth 50,000, the auditor would just, you go to it and you say 50,000, I multiply by 16%, and then you get that receipt, and that's it. But the TIMS, that information that you have keyed there, at the end of the day, is supposed to reflect on KRA servers. Let me say that, on KRA servers. So it was supposed to transmit this information to KRA. Now we used TIMS 2023. That is the time we were buying those machines. Actually, we didn't even have the online version. Either 20, yeah. So after using, actually, I even think we used it for about 6 months. There was now the eTIMS version that was brought on board. The eTIMS version has an online version, and the difference between eTIMS and TIMS was one. And this is the main challenge, and this is something that I would want you to understand. eTIMS now is a point of sale, and I'm going to demonstrate as we move on. It is supposed to understand your sales, your stock, your purchases, everything. So for these tips that you are supposed to key in 50,000 and just send it there, for eTIMS, you have to specify what you sold to me. So if I came and bought 5 bags of cement, you write there what you, they under eTIMS, you have to itemize what is this for 50,000. So that is the difference, and it poses a lot of danger when it comes to stock management, which I'm going to share in the as we move on. So that is the difference, and that is the journey when it comes to VAT. And now, because of eTIMS being enhanced, then we go to issues of pre-filing, which we have been very right now. They are out of population of data, and so many other things, which I'm going to share. What business expenses are excluded from eTIMS? Remember, there was a time in 2020 Apology for that. So if you can be able to hear me, you can say a yes, so that we can proceed. Okay, thank you so much. So I was saying that there was a time that the businesses, we were told that we have to sell with eTIMS and buy in all our purchases as supposed to be eTIMS compliant. So we are still there to see what happens, because 2024, that is the time that we are supposed to implement that decision. So we're going to see how KRA is going to react on them. But there are some business expenses which is excluded, and this is emoluments, which are salaries and wages, imports, air passenger ticketing, investment allowances, interest, fees charged by financial institutions, expenses subject to withholding tax, that is final tax, and services provided by non-resident persons with a permit established in Kenya. So I knew some of you were asking, what about salaries? Do we need to do eTIMS for them? No, some of them were excluded. Let's continue. Key enhancement on eTIMS. So an eTIMS, right now you can do self-onboarding. Actually, this is about a month or 2 months old. For you to be able, for you to onboard, there are so many documentation you needed to provide, then go to KRA, seek an approval. But right now you can be able to do self-onboarding. So whether you do it yourself, you can be able to do that. Then we also have multiple solutions on one platform. I remember I told you, if you chose eTIMS client is the one that you download on your laptop. You are supposed to use that one only. But now you can be able to have multiple solutions. So for example, those using eTIMS client for invoicing can also access the online portal. The online portal is on your KRA portal as an alternative without needing additional approval. So if you find that the eTIMS client is hanging, or it's not giving you or there's something that you can't understand, you can go to online portal and still generate a eTIMS invoice. So these are some changes that have happened actually this year. Then there's the unified invoice access. Yes, this is also something new. Taxpayers can view all their invoices generated across various platforms. So some of you are saying that if there is a client who sent me, who generated theirs through eCitizen portal, when I come to auto-populate, I don't find them. But now you can view all invoices generated across all various platforms. That is eTIMS client, systems to system integration, and eCitizen portal through a single online portal. So you can be able to view all of them. However, when you're creating a credit note and invoicing flexibility, credit note must be generated using the same solution that issued the original invoice. So if you went to eCitizen and created an invoice, if you want to do a credit note, you cannot go to eTIMS client and want to create the credit note. You have to go to specific place where you created the invoice, then you can create a credit note. So those are some of the changes. Most of these have happened this year. This is just making eTIMS more user-friendly and making it the system much better. So I know we had a lot of issues when it came to onboard, but I find them trying to solve these issues as we proceed. The next one, what are the solutions, eTIMS solution? I know some of us are not yet onboarded, or you're onboarded and you're like, I'm having a solution that is not helping me. So let's talk about the different solutions. Solution number one, eTIMS Lite. And this was generated especially when we said all our expenses have to be eTIMS compliant. So we were like, what happens to Mama Mboga when I go to the market and I want to buy something? And how will they generate an eTIMS for me? Now they can generate through the eTIMS Lite. So eTIMS Lite, you do *222# through your phone. Especially, this is good for individuals and sole proprietors or other people. If you just create one invoice, 2 invoices in a month, eTIMS Lite is it's good for you, and you just create on your phone. So that is eTIMS Lite. We have eTIMS Lite Web. Is a simplified online system for businesses with minimal transaction, especially those registered with individual PINs. So you can go to eTIMS, you can go to eCitizen portal and be able to create it. So you can go to a cyber and they can actually help you create an eTIMS invoice. eTIMS portal, this is a solution designed for business in the service sector. So you can see there. So eTIMS portal, you can go to the eTIMS iTax portal. You go to iTax portal and you're going to find their eTIMS portal, and then you can go in and create the invoice still there. We have eTIMS client. So these are software installed in laptop, desktop. So this is where now you install it on your laptop. So it's also a solution. And also eTIMS Lite is also what we have with the machines. The machine that you buy, the eTIMS point of sale, the eTIMS enabled point of sale that we buy. So you can either download it on your laptop or you can buy that machine. We also have the online sales control unit. Is a system-to-system integration that is ideal for taxpayers using an online invoicing system. So you can have your accounting software and integrate it. And actually, my greatest, I don't know how many have integrated. The cost of integration is very expensive. So this is something I thought that KRA should look at it. I think the cheapest could be 50, 60, even 100. And for it to be integrated and it is operating properly is also a very big hassle. So this you integrate it with your accounting software. The online version is online. Then we have the virtual sales control unit. Is a system-to-system integration that is ideal for taxpayers using both online and offline invoicing system. So if you're using offline, you can go to the virtual sales control unit. So there are companies that are authorized and they are on KRA website authorized to do integration. So don't go to companies that are not authorized. They do integration for you. Yes. However, if you don't have so many transactions, you can go to eTIMS client where you can have it there independently with your accounting software. So when you generate your invoice under your accounting software, you go to eTIMS client and get another eTIMS receipt, or you can just use eTIMS as your point of sale. It's a totally point of sale, so you can use it actually to maintain your books and maintain your records. For others who are using accounting software, you can buy the machine and just key in the data and create that small eTIMS invoice. So those are the solutions in the market to handle from the person, the lowest to the greatest of the company. So let's look at the procedures for eTIMS registration. So I said I'm having quite a lot to share. I'm having 85 slides. So be fast, but there's a registration link there. I'm going to share these notes. I'm going to share these notes and you can follow through slowly when you're in the office. So you're going to open. So for the people who have not registered, you're going to open etims.kra.go.ke. to access the eTIMS taxpayers portal. That's how it looks like. And you're going to do your PIN. There's a PIN button there, and you're going to share. You're going to do enter your PIN and verify taxpayers' information. The information, your information is going to auto-populate automatically, and you can verify. Then you're going to create a password. You can follow my how I have highlighted the pointers. You can see how I'm highlighted the pointers very, very well. So you can be able to follow the procedure. So you create a password. It's going to send you an OTP button to receive a security on your mobile number registered on iTax. So make sure that you have it. Enter the security code received and review and confirm data privacy statement. The blue one you have to tick, and then you sign up. After signing up, you click yes to complete the sign up process. So this process is, you can do it the way I mentioned there, self-onboarding. So previously there were so many processes, document, but you can do self-onboarding at the moment. So now you registered, you come in to log in as eTIMS Tax on the portal, so that now we can go through how it looks inside. So this is how it looks like. And you click the service request button on the top right corner. You can see how my were pointed. And this is what we are having there. Normal sales receipt, credit. It's going to show you, it's a menu, it's a front space. It's going to show you what is there. Then you can click eTIMS button, add director's KRA PIN and OTP, director's mobile number. So, okay, we are still doing registrations here. Okay, so, okay, we are still doing the registration, apology. So you have to download the data, provided KRA PIN, and the director's mobile number, and then select the eTIMS type that you want, online, e-client, the ones that I've explained on the earlier schedule. You select what you're looking for and then confirm. So if you go to eTIMS client, you're supposed to provide the serial number. So if you buy the machine, you're supposed to input the serial number at that particular point. So the machine that you buy has to be known by KRA, the serial number. So a text message will be sent on your mobile number registered on iTax confirming the application is successful. So that is eTIMS registration. So let's navigate. Let's navigate through the eTIMS client. So we're going to navigate with the two solutions. So let's start with the eTIMS client. So upon successful eTIMS application and installation, log in using the user credentials you created. So remember your user ID and password. Then this is how it looks like. So add items module, click, which should land the taxpayers to the page for the item registration. So we are going to register your items. Remember, I told you that eTIMS has to recognize your stock. What are you selling? So the item management, where you list the various stock items that you're having. And remember, you have to specify. You can see how I added item name, purchases price, beginning stock. You have to answer this space is price, sales price. So you have even the purchase price, the sales price, the VAT amount. You have to have this. So sometimes if you're having so many items in the company, this will take you a bit of time. So you have to add each item that you're selling on the on the eTIMS portal. So it is also interested on what you're selling and the stocks and everything. So click on the black button labeled new to auto-generate the item code. So the item should have a code. So iTax portal would automatically give the item a code. So you can see where the pointer is. This is a code created. So you can be able to see it there. It's going to give a code automatically. And then you save, you click save. So that is how you add items. So you follow the process, add everything. So if you have 10, if you have 100, 1,000, it will take a bit of time, but add everything that is there. It's generally a point of sale, like the one that we use in accounting. So let's now add a customer. So we've been able to add our items. Let's add our customers. So there is a customer management module, and select the customer. So you can see where I've been able to point. Then you put in the details. So non-individual, their PIN, everything there, repeat customer, you put the bank account number. There are so many spaces there that you're supposed to fill in. Fill in the details of the customer in the various fields and save. So that is customer. So you add as many customers. The good side with you adding this customer, it means when you're selling to them, because you want to give them an eTIMS invoice, you don't have to key in their PIN all the time. Remember, this customer is asking you for an eTIMS, and they want you to specify their password, their PIN, because their KRA PIN. If you don't do that, it will not auto-populate. So they want that. So for you to ease of time, you have all these recordings. So you just choose them and you give them a receipt. So that is the essence of doing the customer management. For all our walk-ins, you don't have to put them there. So create an invoice. Let's go to the sales management module. So let's create an invoice now. So you can say there, so do the new invoice and click yes. So you can see the pointer there. From the customer ID tab, select the customer you intend to invoice. Remember the customers that you have created. So create the customer that you intend to put. Then on the item code, remember you put the items, and these items were coded. Go ahead and pick the items that you want to sell to this customer. So the items that you intend to invoice, put their codes there, and then provide the quantities being supplied. And this is the danger that comes with eTIMS. Provide the quantities. So if you want to sell them 100 units, 10 units, just select there and then confirm. After confirm, the saved transaction should appear at the sales management tab. Wait for approval. Select the saved transaction, then click details button so you can be able to see it there. And then approve. So you can here you're supposed to understand that items that you have created, are they okay? Have you been able to generate all items properly? And then you approve. So click the approve button, and then from the dialog box for prompts. So there's a approve there. So the taxpayer is to select the mode in which they will receive payment. So are you receiving payments in cash, in M-Pesa? So there's also that portion that you can input there. And then so if connected to thermal printer, you can print. So you can print the receipt. So I hope you've been able to follow the procedure. Of course, I said I'm going to share. So that is a procedure. And the reason why, let me mention here before we go to creating a credit note. And this is the difference that I mentioned when it comes to TIMS and eTIMS and ETR, is that at this particular point, you're supposed to describe all your items that you're selling. You describe your customers, and then you do a sale. And when you're doing a sale, for instance, for us, we just chose one item. But for instance, you're selling like 5 items or 10 items to this customer. KRA can be able to see your stock movement and see your stocks. So what happens, and this is the area, and I would want you to note that one and write it somewhere. So if you buy items today, all your purchases are eTIMS compliant, and I'm going to show you when I go to the purchases module. All your purchases are eTIMS compliant. So they come to iTax and you can be able to view them. But when you're selling, you don't sell everything with eTIMS. So you sell with eTIMS selectively. So for instance, if you are hardware and you imported from, let me say, Bambuli, you imported 5,000 bags of cement the whole year of 2024. But when you came to selling, because you're minding your VAT so that you don't pay a lot of VAT, so you're minding who you're selling to with eTIMS. So when it came to selling, you sold this cement 1,000 bags through eTIMS. The rest you just sold without eTIMS. KRA, and this will be the audits that will be happening from July after we do our annual return for 2024. The first audit that will come in is our stock. So they will be able to check through the eTIMS portal and determine that this cement, which is your core of the business, they might not check all the stock. This one that is core of your business, you sold 1,000. So why is 4,000 bags? So they will be calling you to ask that question. So it's either you sold it out of the system or you have it in stock. I hope that is clear, because when the president said that eTIMS is going to push our compliance to 90%, it wasn't a joke. So eTIMS is a game changer, and I would want you to really take understanding of that. Let's continue. I'll keep talking about that as we move on. Let's create a credit note after we have issued this one. And I don't know why we are creating let's create a credit note for many reasons. So we want to generate an invoice, a credit note on the sale that you have created. So select the transaction you wish to issue a credit note. So go and first select the details, the invoice or the receipt that you had created. Click and cancel request button to confirm by selecting a yes. So that is a cancel request. You want to cancel that receipt or that invoice. So it is there. Note that the status of the read cancel requested. So select the transaction again, then click the detail button. So look at it and confirm by saying a yes. So confirm by saying a yes. So you can see my confirmation there at the tail end. So put the customer phone or KRA PIN, and then you can print the invoice, the credit note. The credit notes. You can be able now to print it. So it's pretty simple. You just go to the receipt that you had the issues or the invoice, you select it, you cancel, and then you print it. Let's go to approving purchases. So we have a purchases module. So when you buy and you give that supplier your PIN, you're supposed to come here on the eTIMS portal and be able to find that purchase automatically there. So if you just bought something, you can go to the purchases module. So there is a purchases management, and you're going to see it there. Click the purchases the taxpayer made that is awaiting approval. You're going to see it there automatically. It is going to come to you. The moment you give out your PIN, it's going to come there automatically. So look at the details and then accept. The moment you accept that purchase, the items goes direct to your stocks. So whatever you bought here, I can see here the purchase amount, diet, everything. So everything goes now to your stock so that you can be able to start selling it. So that is how we do it. So let's adjust the stock. Let's adjust the stock. So in case the taxpayer has exhausted the stock they had input in the system, the taxpayer can adjust the stock by simply clicking the stock status. So you come here. You're not supposed to sell at zero. So you can't sell as, you might be having the items there, but you have not put them on the eTIMS portal, so it will not accept you to sell a negative. So you have to incorporate your stocks there. So select the specific line items you want to adjust and click adjust button. So the items that you'd want to add, you click. Then you can see there the adjust, where the pointer is, adjust quantity. So you're adding from 150, you're adding another 10, and then you're going to save. You're going to save. So before I talk about navigating eTIMS portal, this is the online where you go to KRA portal and use that one. So I want to see what is your reaction so far. What is your reaction so far so that we can proceed to the next one? Have you understood about the stock management? Have you understood about the stock management and what I meant that eTIMS will be used to manage our stock and to audit our stocks? If you are hardware, do you have to add every item of stock on eTIMS? Yes. And make sure that when you're selling, you sell the correct items. Select the correct items. You see, I've told you that this stock will be used to audit you. Yes, we are recording the section, the webinar. You're going to see it on our, I have a YouTube channel. You're going to see it there. What if you sold to customers not registered? I believe there is a space for customer not registered for VAT. There is. What is the position of schools as far as eTIMS is concerned? I've seen so many schools incorporate eTIMS. So they have done that. And it's also when you're also receiving your purchases, you can also receive purchases and expenses which are eTIMS compliance. Does eTIMS Online have the purchases module? Yes, it has. I've demonstrated. Assume you have sold multiple products to a customer and you only want to create a credit note for one item. Yes, you can still do that. You can still do that. You go issue a credit note on that. Can a supplier issue a TIMS? And now this time I will say eTIMS because there's a difference between TIMS and eTIMS, which I explained. If he's on special table, so for the ones that are on special table, what I've seen The machine will accept to key in data, but it will not transmit. Most of the time, it's not transmitting the information. So you find that you're hanging, your business is hanging because you cannot create an invoice. And even if you do it, it's not being transmitted. How about fuel? For fuel, you're supposed to get eTIMS compliant receipts from the petrol station. So also petrol stations are supposed to be eTIMS compliant. Remember, the fuel is VATable, it's at 16%. How do you issue credit note? I've explained. What if the supplier is not eTIMS compliance? So they sell without eTIMS invoice for SM. How do you add items? I've shown you how to adjust stocks. I've shown you there. Are there dedicated devices to use with eTIMS clients? So there are devices. I guess at the moment that the cheapest device is about 25,000 to 30. The devices are there. The machine, the machine that you buy, but you can also have your laptop. You don't have to buy that machine and download the eTIMS client. For a producer manufacturer, do I use the same mode of adding stock freshly produced in a similar manner? Yes, Teresa. Just add your stock, adjust it there. What does it mean when your purchase from supplier with no KRA PIN not auto-populate on you? Yeah, it doesn't out. Remember, the pre-filing, the VAT we are doing at the moment is pre-filed. So you're not inputting any data. You're not putting your sales. You're not putting your purchases. It is pre-filed for you. So it is auto-populating automatically. So if you did not share your PIN to your supplier, and you did not also confirm, I guess I didn't mention that. I didn't create somewhere where I could talk about confirming. Let me write here because I will tell you how you confirm. You're supposed to confirm the legitimacy of that invoice through iTax portal. So you can go to KRA portal. There is a section where it says the serial number checker. Serial number checker, you can check there. You can even scan that invoice. Make sure that that receipt was or invoice was able to transmit to KRA portal. If it did not, you're not going to find it at the end of the month. So also you should be very careful to make sure that before you pay somebody, remember this is something that you bought, is a purchase. Before you pay them, go online, scan the information, or go to KRA portal and confirm that that invoice is a valid invoice and it was also able to transmit. What about a person who depends on commission? Can he join eTIMS? Yes, he can. Is doing a credit note a trigger for audit? Yes, it is, Faith. If you do so many of them, I've seen that one becoming a trigger, especially where you're put on special table. So I've seen people being put on special table if you create so many credit notes. But if it's a genuine case, possibly it was not transmitted well, KRA don't have a problem with that. Previous one could claim VAT invoices as long as are within last. Is it possible with eTIMS? So eTIMS at the moment, it is picking everything per month, everything. So there's nowhere that you're having invoices left out. We saw that possibly due January, February, but at the moment, if you got all purchases, they are recorded for the month of May, you're going to receive all of them. You're going to receive all of them under when you'll be auto-populating your data. Previously, that is the time we saw some were being left out. But and KRA, when we went to KRA, some were saying, oh, and there are so many people who paid a lot of VAT for January, February, especially when the pre-filing and the auto-population came to be really enhanced. So when you go to KRA and say, I have all these purchases, they have not auto-populated, so I'm not supposed to pay this VAT. I would want to hear what KRA responded to you, because the response was, go tell your supplier to create credit note and reissue other invoices so that you can find them for next month. So I don't know what was the communication on your end. So you have to really be careful with your purchases. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. So let me just answer one more. Can you download eTIMS through the phone? I would want to hear somebody, my co-host, to answer that one. I don't know what capacity of the phone it has. I don't know if it requires a lot of data or I would want to hear, or even you, if you ever downloaded it on your phone and you're using it, I would want to hear. Does eTIMS trigger standard levy excise when one sells goods such as water, sales, and cosmetics? A very good question. A very good question. So why are you selling water and you're not registered for excise? I'm very sure it's going to trigger, especially if you're going to establish and say that your stocks is water. If your stocks is water, it's going to do that. Let's proceed. You keep asking the questions. Let's proceed to the next one. I'll keep answering them. So let's navigate eTIMS portal online. So this is the online one that you go to, the number registered on your iTax portal. So you go to the iTax portal and be able to use this one. So how do you navigate? Once logged in the new menu bar should appear. On the new menu bar under item management, that is the item management. You can see item management right here where the pointer is. And then you can be able to see items classifications there. So there is the user code there where the pointer is there. So it's going to segment the items. So the coding of the items is already there. So you're going to choose. So search item, registered item. So you're going to choose what you're selling under the segment that they are going to give you there. So for instance, under the category name field, enter the number of the service you offer and search. So you can see, so for here, the item that we required was audit. So it gives you all this auditorium, audit for environmental auditing, audit service. So for instance, we are looking for audit service. This is code 84111, what was there. So they have category codes. So you just select. So that is, so you select, and then adding an item on the item menu, select the search register item. So you want to register item, and then click the register button and add the item. So this is the item that you want to register, internal audit, internal services. The code is there. The code is there. So when we were coming here, we were selecting, we were trying to see what is the code under what we are looking for, the code. So we got the code, and then here we wanted to add the items. So using the code, that you're selling or the service. So that is the item and the class code. And then we come now to generate an invoice. So you have created the items already. So let's create an invoice. So a sales receipt, which is under transaction management. So you can see the transaction management there, where the pointer is a sales receipt. Then you add the button to proceed with the sale. You can see how I'm able to select. So you want to add, so the buyer PIN, who is buying that service, for instance, in this case, who is buying that service, their mobile number, the name, they are paying in cash. And then they are going to pay us 10,000, then you save. So you select the item, it was the internal audit, you can see there, the item that we had saved, and it is for 10,000, and then you save. Then you download the receipt. So you can be able to see there the receipt number, the invoice, you add, and you download. A pro forma invoice will be displayed. So there's a pro forma invoice. That's how it looks like. And click the receipt to download the invoice. You can download it. And then raise a credit note. You can also raise a credit note on that you had created. Similarly, you have to go get the invoice number and be able to select it so that you can be able to cancel. So you can be able to cancel. So there's a partial. There's somebody who was asking, I have 5 items, but I want to remove one and remain. So I don't want to cancel the whole invoice. There is a partial and the full credit note. So you can be able to see that. Provide the reason for raising a credit note and save. So there are many reasons. Under this one, there are reasons already highlighted there. Then you choose. A credit note has been raised successfully. So you're going to see that it has been raised successfully. All right. So that is the eTIMS on the iTax portal. So what I can say about eTIMS before I come to the emerging issues is that it is extremely user-friendly. So what you need to do is to interact with it more often. So if you interact with it more often, you come learning. So for the people that were used to the ETR where you just key in 50,000, then select 1 or 2, one is 16%, then you say, okay, then a receipt prints. If you knew that formula, especially for someone who is not very educated, this might pose a challenge. But if you learn it slowly, it is something that someone can be able to understand. So it is not very hard to learn. I don't know how you've interacted with the eTIMS and how you feel about it. Is it user-friendly? Does it require you to have an accounting background for you to be able to use it? So that's the question that I'm asking. So you're going to answer me there. So I want to talk about emerging issues. And one of the emerging issues is this VAT special table. And I've seen so many of us are being affected, and if you're not affected, you're going to be affected very soon, because I see this is like a new trend where KRA every month they are just they are deactivating, let me say that, they are deactivating the VATs because of issues of compliance. And when you go to file your return, it is written there, VAT irregularities, go to KRA office or so. And when you go there, you're told that you have to be on special table. Let me talk about it, and then we see what how you're supposed to navigate the entire process. So the VAT special table is an enforcement mechanism by KRA that is aimed to enhance value-added tax compliance. It triggers VAT registered taxpayers on suspense of non-compliance. So that is it. And I'll give the cited reasons. Once listed, the taxpayer is restricted from filing VAT, so you can't file the VAT return, and their invoices become ineligible for input VAT claims by others. So that's what happens. So you might raise, if you're having a machine, you might raise an invoice, but that invoice does not transmit to KRA. So when you give somebody, when they go to check online, they can't find it there. So they return it back. Actually, especially for people who do business on a daily basis, that your customer require eTIMS, the moment you're put on VAT special table, you almost close down. Because who are you going to sell to? So for me, I feel it a bit punitive, but these are the reasons why taxpayers get listed. Payment returns without payments. So you do your return, but you don't do payments. You do your returns, but you don't do payments, so you have so many arrears. Non-filers, you're not filing. Nil filers with the interim claims. Nil filers with the input claims. So you're always on a credit note. You're always on a credit, VAT credits, which is possibly you have like $500 million. That is a credit all the time, but you don't declare any sales. So you're just carrying over the credit. TIMS and eTIMS non-compliance. So you're having compliance issues. Missing trader or VAT fraud. This is what I've seen them cite so many times. Claiming VAT from blacklisted suppliers. So the missing trader, where it's coming from, and VAT fraud. You remember I mentioned the issues that were happening, that you could get a receipt that is invalid. Every details is okay, but there is no actual item that was sold, that was exchanged. So this is also something that have reoccurred with eTIMS. And remember, this is a software. It has a lot of intelligence. Ama tuseme iko na AI. So the moment you receive those receipts, it's able to detect. What is the criteria for it to be able to detect that this invoice, even if it auto-populated, it is a VAT fraud receipt? Number one, this person did not file on their side. And this is something that is happening right now. So you get a receipt, it's 5 million. So these people who operate a company 3 days, like 3 months, they will issue invoices for 3 months. They are not filing any sales. They're just issuing. By the time it is that month, KRA is going to detect. It's going to detect that this person is issuing receipts. Yes, they are auto-populating, because the moment the information is shared, it's auto-populating, but it doesn't file. They don't declare their sales. So they are just, remember, on your side is a purchase, but on their side is a sale. So they are having sales, so many of them which are auto-populated, but they have not declared purchases, and they have not even filed, they have not even paid that VAT. So 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, by the time that company operates that, because it's an invalid company, the moment that by that month, the system is supposed to, is detecting. So what happens if you got any invoice of that nature? And it is very simple. They'll just key in their PIN number of this invalid company, and then it auto-populates even your company. They'll just deactivate all those pins. And then when you go there, let me show you the information they are providing. So that is one of the major reasons. The other reason is the credit note. So many of the any irregularities that you're doing, they are really able to detect. If you're doing VAT, you're not filing, there's anything, any simple thing that you're doing under eTIMS, the system is able to detect that there's something not happening correctly. So these are the documents they look for. And there are so many. Actually, you're like going through a full audit. Actually, the audit for VAT special table is even worse than than other audits. And so many approval sections for that VAT to be reactivated again. So what happens if you're listed? Engage with KRA immediately. You have to, because you need that VAT back. You need to use your eTIMS. You need to sell. So when they go online, they are going to establish the reason. The moment you go to KRA, they are going to tell you, they are going to look at it. It's going to be indicated the reason for that. And the reason for that will also determine the processes that they're going to follow for them to reactivate you. So ensure accurate and timely VAT filing. So reconcile your transactions and address discrepancies. Okay, so what happens? You go to KRA, you understand the issues. When it comes to your side, you're supposed to make sure that your VAT filing is done well, you've done payment, your transactions are okay, and also seek professional support. So this is something that we offer as a company. We give you that support for you for your VAT PIN to be activated. So what are the documents that they require? Formal letter requesting for reactivation. So you give them a letter. Bank statement relating to the period of non-compliance. Company director's ID, compliance certificate for direct. eTIMS generated invoice, copies of CR12, certificate of incorporation. They're asking for so many documents, and depending on the nature of the reason there, especially if they said the reason was VAT fraud or missing trader or claiming VAT from blacklisted supplier, my friend, they are really going to take you through rounds. You're going to tell them why you received those receipts. So, and they can also come to your company. I've seen them, especially for those two. I've seen them even doing a physical visit to your company. So that is the process. So I believe last month, no, not last month, this month they also deactivated, I guess, above 4,000 pins. So this is an ongoing process. Make sure that when you're operating your eTIMS, you're doing it above board, because to solve the issue, it becoming a tall order. Okay, so before I go to the next one, I would want to hear your review on eTIMS, no, on VAT special table. On VAT special table, what is your reaction, and have you been there? After being removed from special table, will you be able to file the returns from the, yes, you're going to file. And by the way, all those 10,000 penalty you're going to pay. So they will not remove the 10,000 because they had deactivated on their side. No, they will leave the liability with you. So you're going to file from the day that the system stopped, and you're going to pay for all that. And by the way, the longer you stay, you see there I've indicated, they will also request you for the documentation. How have you been doing? They want to see the bank statement for that period that you're not filing. It's a crazy process, let me say so. So you're going to file. So can a business be successful in being removed? Yes. Yes. So they are removing. It's a process, but they are doing it. Currently, I'm on special table, okay? So that is a procedure and what you should understand. Okay, last Monday I encountered 2 of my suppliers whose PINs have been suspended. So I could not claim VAT from their invoices, correct, James? So that is the correct position. The moment they are suspended, you cannot claim. Even if they gave you, you cannot claim. It will not auto-populate. Is there an audit before you put there? No. You do audit after. When you're there, that is the time now they are doing audit. So that when they get the trigger, they put you there. Now they tell you this is the trigger that made us do this. So from now, give us this information. After being removed from special table, can buyers now claim the input VAT? I don't know about this. I don't know about this, but this is something that I also would want to ask for the people that have been there. But I think you have to redo, you have to issue those inputs VAT again. That's my thinking. Does the 6-month rule apply during the filing after you've been active? I'm hoping you'll be activated. You're going to be activated before 6 months are over. Because the rule does not, if you take a year, those 6 months, the rule applies, by the way. So you'll not be able to claim input VAT, even if you had them. So the rule is on the system already. So the longer you take, the longer you're losing. How do you know one is on special table before transacting? I mentioned this, scan their invoice. The invoice should come with a scanner, with a barcode. Scan. If you not be able to scan, go to the portal. I apologize, that one I didn't put on the presentation. Go to iTax portal. There's a section that said invoice checker and another one, serial checker. They are just on the face of iTax. Input the invoice number there or the serial number there. The data is going to auto-populate there. So make sure that you do that before you even pay somebody. There are organizations, by the way, especially the Asians, they will not pay you. They will not pay you a coin until they have confirmed that the document you've given them is valid, it has auto-populated on their site, then now they do you the payment. So do the same. I applied for VAT reactivation in February this year, and upon date, not yet been removed because I don't have 3-year bank statement, and my invoices are still too low. Oh, how do I go about it, Tom? Okay. When I download my CSV, my sales appear, but my client cannot view the same on the purchase. Please advise, I raise a credit note or raise again, it will cancel out again. So I don't know how many are there that are not reflecting. So you can be able to raise a credit note and credit notes, make sure that file for them and document the transaction, document the reason. Otherwise, one of these days you might find yourself in a corner that you have to explain why you're doing it, and you don't have the correct information that what you should be having. What is the procedure of changing from using ETR or eTIMS for a transaction? Maxwell, I don't know if you're using ETR. For ETR, we stopped using them long time ago. Possibly you have the TIMS machine. Possibly you have the eTIMS machine. So you can stop using the eTIMS machine and start using the eTIMS. But for now, but the eTIMS is much better because it doesn't have the stock management module. And I'm very sure for anyone who is using eTIMS, I'm very sure within a year or so, it's going to be deactivated that everybody now is supposed to use eTIMS. So for now, you can just stay put. If the eTIMS is still working properly, just continue using it. How do you declare an invoice during the auto-population? So auto-population is happening automatically. You don't add. You add, if you have sales that are not added, it's just accepting you add sales, but not purchases. Not purchases. So keep asking the question as I move to the next one. Let me continue. What is the difference between eTIMS and eTIMS? I guess I had mentioned that one. So let's proceed. Let's proceed from where we left. So there's also something that is called buyer-intended invoicing or reverse invoicing, where they say that if you encounter a supplier who does not give you an eTIMS invoice, you can actually initiate that invoice on your side. So you can initiate that invoice on your side and you can be able to receive it. So and especially this was done for small businesses, enterprise, who possibly they don't know how to do it or they're having an issue. This can be done. So it is done under two options. The option of USSD code, the *222#, or by logging to eCitizen KRA. So you log into eCitizen, add the item on description, preview the purchase, download the sample CSV, and confirm the details. So it's quite easy to be able to do it. So this is how it looks like. If you're doing it under the *22#, this you're using your phone. Those are the steps. Those are the steps there. So you can see number 5 there, KRA services. And there you choose number 4, buyer initiated. So you're initiating that invoice. So number 2, then you go to view requests. You can see there. Then number 1, select the relevant invoice to approve. Select on approve or reject. Okay. So you can be able to, you approve at that particular point. So, so it is quite simple. I'm going to share this and you can be able to use it. As this is especially for people who and for me, I always advocate when you're doing this, you do it because also you have to put the details of the buyer. You can do it with their consent. Remember, if you're going to generate something for them, especially where you're inputting even their PIN number, they'll be required to declare that sale at one time when they're doing their return, even if it's at the end of the year. So do it consciously when the person is have given consent when you're doing that. It's applicable, especially to farmers. The exporter, especially the export industry, where they receive items from farmers. Mostly farmers will say, oh, I don't know this one. I don't know how to create this. So I've seen this being used some by other companies to actually help their buyer, help that supplier be able to get eTIMS invoice so that they can be able to generate payment to them. So they would say that for us to do payment, all our purchases have to be eTIMS compliant. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges with eTIMS? Failure to receive one-time password. This is OTP during sign-up. So this is something that, especially when you're signing up, is always a challenge. Sometimes, yes. So confirm that you have access on iTax registration mobile number. So the number, you should be having the number there. And of course, when you send the OTP, you have to be quick to be able to share. Internet and connectivity issues. So eTIMS thrives with internet. So when there's an instability of internet, there are so many issues that happens. So real-time transmission requires stable internet. So if you're in a place where, by the way, for people who are saying, oh, does not transmit, it's not, possibly you need to solve your connectivity issues. And I also believe when it stays in the air long time and the internet is not stable, it's like the process becomes halfway through. So it's kind of does not go through at all. So this is especially rural and those other areas. So interruption in connectivity can result to delay invoicing and potential non-compliance. So make sure that the stability of internet. I've also seen other people citing, okay, I guess it's here, system glitches and downtime, user-friendly reports, user frequency report system errors and downtime, which can stop business transaction and affect customers' relation. So sometimes the system will have issues. Sometimes you find that eTIMS client has an issue, the other one has an issue. There's always some issues that are happening. And I've seen also some people saying if you integrate with your if you integrate it with your accounting software and you're selling like your three of you in a shop, it's a busy place. The moment I raise an invoice, the other one, sometimes you find one goes through, the other one hangs somewhere. But I think this is something that I've been going through maintenance and being enhanced. So I see fewer and fewer issues being handled with eTIMS every day. So it's becoming more efficient than the 2024. And especially now that we have now the pre-filing is now they are really pushing it to be more efficient. So what do you do? Update your software for those using eTIMS client. So update it, make sure that you have a nice laptop, and even the machine also goes through updates. So update it properly. Provide feedback and response to KRA in case you have a challenge. Do not uninstall the eTIMS client software. It will erase all past transactions that might not be transmitted. I don't know when one day you wake up and the machine crashes. I know the data is with KRA already, but possibly the data that was not transmitted. But of course, even setting up that eTIMS, it's a hassle. You see, putting all those items, then customers, then what, then the machine crashes. So that is what I had. The finance bill has proposed that for all errors that were created by eTIMS, that they are going to be erased. So I guess from January 2026, if I'm not wrong, they have, if it passes, they have said for all liabilities that came to the system out of eTIMS challenges, they are going to be handled and those liabilities are going to be removed. So it's also how you present the case. It's also how you're going to present your case. So that is on the Finance Bill 2025. I didn't share that portion, but I shared during the time that we were sharing a proposed Finance Bill 2025. So what is here, what I've mentioned that is I've not written here, which I feel was very important, was the stock management module, which I mentioned, the stock management module. I mentioned that, and that is the difference between TIMS and eTIMS. TIMS does not indicate, it doesn't require you to say what you're selling, but eTIMS requires you to share what you're selling. So you have to input all your items. You have to put all the items that you're selling. So it requires quite a bit of a setup. And then when I come to buy as a customer, you have to indicate all the items that I'm buying. So this is what I said. We are very quick to ask for purchases to make sure that all our purchases are eTIMS compliant because we are filing for VAT and we want to lower our VAT with the input VAT. So you're very quick. But when you come to sell your site, when you're selling, you sell selectively. So you sell to customer A. The other one who does not ask for eTIMS, you don't sell to them with the eTIMS. So what happens? At that particular point, you solve the VAT issue, don't pay a lot of VAT. Actually, you're always on a credit position. And by the way, always being on a credit position is a trigger for special table. So you're always on a credit, or you just pay very minimal VAT. 2024, from January, that is the time where we used eTIMS properly. And this is the time that we are filing for year 2024. The moment we finish June, and by the way, if you've not done your audit, we are the best auditors, and because we understand tax. So when we finalize on 2024, the other audits that are going to come out for especially for year 2024 will come from eTIMS, how we interacted with the eTIMS last year. So I mentioned because of the stock management, they are going to compare your stocks vis-a-vis what you sold. So the system automatically at the click of a button is going to bring all your purchases together and what you have sold, and they're going to write to you telling you, I give you an example, possibly your fast moving item, the best item that you're having in your stock is cement, which I mentioned that the whole year you bought cement worth 5,000, which you are very good to get receipts. But when you came to sell, you selectively sold. So you sold 1,000. So they're going to write you a letter and tell you, you did not sell your cement worth 4,000 bags. Do you have these stocks in the store or would want to verify? So they will verify on your bank statement, and they can even come and do a physical count. So that is it. So this is something that you have to really take note. The other portion I mentioned for you to be able to specify who you sold to, or the purchase. When you're receiving the purchase, you can go to iTax portal and verify that purchase. There's the invoice number checker. So with that, that's what I had for today. Let me answer a few questions. Let me answer a few questions as we move. Let me answer a few questions. I hope you've been able to learn something. How can I adjust my stocks downward if I made an error in quantity input? Nasibo, I'm thinking you continue selling, but I think you can still adjust the same way we adjusted. You can still adjust downwards. Can I delete an item? I also think so. You can delete. How far should I adjust my output? Why does eTIMS on the auto-populated report capture sales but doesn't capture purchases? Peter, I don't know. Possibly you're not getting you're not giving your receipts. You're not giving out your PIN properly, and I don't know. It's not accepting purchases. It is not unless you're inputting an exempt purchase. An exempt purchase, yes, but a standard 16% purchases, the system is not accepting. If you're providing services, so you can register there, we're going to get the notes. If you're providing services, e.g. internal audit, you have issued eTIMS invoice on your sale. When you incur an overhead, e.g. you buy a toner, will it reflect? Why isn't it reflecting? It's not reflecting because you did not share your PIN. So share your PIN. Otherwise, how will it know that it was you and not me? Because I also provide internal audits. So share them with your PIN when they are giving. If you want to use that receipt, especially for VAT, make sure that you give out your PIN. So I've seen people are saying they have learned a lot. Okay. Comment on KPLC invoices for company who issues KRA PIN on KPLC yet does not reflect on the auto population. So I want to hear from others that does your KPLC invoice auto populate? So if I'm not registered for VAT and my sales are less than 5 million, do invoice? These are very good question, by the way. Previously, for eTIMS use or for ETR use, you had to be registered for VAT, which you needed to hit the 5 million. Right now, there's VAT, there's non-VAT, yes. So you can do eTIMS for non-VAT. You don't have to get to the threshold. So when you get to some work and they're telling you we need an eTIMS invoice, you can do eTIMS for non-VAT. That is a good one. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, Clinton is saying keep KPLC invoice, do auto-populate. Thank you. So I also needed an answer from you. So I buy airtime from Safaricom. How do I expense? No invoice, no receipt. Oh, okay. You can do a petty cash, but I wish you could get an invoice. Or you go buy airtime where you get those scratch cards. It's also a very good way to verify the payment, the process. How about the process for clearing and transport company? How do you use eTIMS? You use eTIMS when you're giving invoices to your customers. Consultants still need to issue eTIMS invoice? Yes. Even as we issue, Yes, it is. By invoicing with VAT, does that automatically qualify you to have VAT obligation on your PIN? You cannot invoice with VAT if you're not VAT registered. So Jael, if you're not, you can't. So it's either you're registered prior from you invoicing, so you can't do that. So let me share who are we. So we are RWK and Associates. So RWK Africa. So this is the time that we're doing audit. So is the audit season stressing you up? We are open to help you with your audit, with your tax, and we have our number there. So for audit, this is what we are doing, the statutory audit. And when we audit your organization, we are very keen to give you a management report to make sure that the audit is supposed to help you manage your business much, much better. So it's not an audit just to file taxes, but also an audit for you to understand the position of your organization and how you can improve that organization. And also when it comes to tax, we have the right knowledge. Remember when I talk about audit triggers, I mentioned that most of the audit triggers are the information that we provide to KRA. So we are very keen with the information that we provide so that it does not affect your organization as an audit trigger. So we also do internal audit. So on a quarterly basis, we are able to offer you audit system audit, bank reconciliation, internal control processes, tax health check. This is something that I've seen very important for organizations that really want to scale and grow. And you believe that you have internal, because the moment you stabilize on operations, you are able to really scale your business to the next level. So this is something that we provide on a quarterly basis. We also have the tax services. This is what we do, representation to KRA on different tax issues, taking you through the entire audit process and making sure that you get a fair judgment, a fair hearing. We push those demands to zero. We can go to the tribunal, to the ADR, and represent you. So that's what we do. We also have a section where we do a tax health check. So if you feel that you want to understand your tax, we can do a compliance check that will go back for 2 years. We help you do tax planning and advise you on any pending tax issues. We also give you a report of findings and recommendations. So we also do advisory services, bookkeeping services. So if you want to outsource, we have the best of bookkeepers, and they will help you with a management report every month, bank reconciliation, filing your monthly returns, payroll. We have quite a lot of services that we give under bookkeeping, and it is not very expensive. And with that, you can call us. I wanted to hear, the number is there. We are Westlands Road, 0728 897 429, but we come all over. We go all over Kenya. So we go there all over Kenya. I hope you've been able to learn. I would want to introduce something to you, and I really want you to be there for the next 10 minutes. I know we are 4 minutes away, but I will ask for the 4 plus 6. So end at around 12:10. I would want to introduce you to my Accurate Books. It's a POS system that is supposed to organize your books properly. So I would want to introduce it to you so that you can be able to use it. We are having a 1-month free trial 1-month free trial, is an accounting software that is a local solution that we have created with the team here. And it is a wonderful solution, especially with all the gaps that you have seen when it comes to accounting software. This is the best solution for you. So I want to introduce my colleague to come on board. And talk for the next 10 minutes. We also do a lot of taxation masterclass, audit and bookkeeping masterclass. For this year, we have done 2. Actually, we are having an audit masterclass that is ending today. We had a wonderful team. So we are having another one in July, September, November. So you can mark the dates on your calendar, come and learn. We make it extremely practical so that you can be able to use it in the marketplace, because this is what we do on a daily basis. So we are able to craft a training that is extremely practical. So you can take note of the dates and you can come and learn. So with that, karibuni sana. You can pick the number 0728 897 429. If you have something that you'd wanted to discuss, but it was a bit personalized, you can call. Someone will pick your call. If you need to talk to me, you can still call that number and I'll talk to you. So Pius, I don't know if you're ready. So I'm so happy. Thank you so much for coming on board, for learning. I hope you've been able to get something. Okay, Lois is asking, do you offer monthly tax services using? Yes, we do. Also, can you converting a business into limited company? Yes, we can. Setting up eTIMS, yes, we can do that. Standard and excise levy license, yes, we can. And CAP certification, yes, we can be able to do that, Lois. So kindly, you can get that number 0728 and we can take the conversation from there. Case of a trader who buys goods, please, I'm waiting for you. Case of a trader who buys goods with the VAT and has not reached the threshold for VAT, how do you go about it? Do you include VAT when selling to your customer? Yes. Yes, Nancy. By the way, if you're not at the threshold of VAT, never register for VAT. If you're not 5 million and above, VAT is very time consuming. You also need to do your costing very well when you also include VAT. Filing every month and so many other things. So if you're not at that very threshold, I kindly advise don't, not unless you get someone who is insisting that you have to be VAT registered, but VAT can pose a challenge if you're not actually there. So thank you so much. It was informative. It was insightful. Asanteni sana. So Pius, you can take it over. Have a lovely afternoon. You can give him 10 minutes only. So God bless you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pius Mudomi. Thank you, Dr. Regina, for the informative session on eTIMS. Thank you also for the brief introduction for the My Accurate Books software. So these are software that has been developed solely to have an accounting and a POS within one solution. So the solution is available as a web version and still as a mobile application, meaning you can use it on the mobile in your Android device. The iPhone device is still upcoming, and still you can use it on your web browser to do your business operations. So for those who might ask why my accurate books was developed, so this is the system or rather a solution developed with simplicity in mind, with ease of use. It also does not require prior accounting knowledge. And finally, it has automated bookkeeping. So whether you're an accountant, merchant, a retailer, or either a solopreneur, either dealing with physical goods or services, this is the right software for your business, or rather your operations. So the screen that I've shared is an overview of the web application or the version. So that is the dashboard where you get to see the sales, the expenses, the purchases, and finally the profit and loss. So with the solution, you are able to do both receipts and invoicing. So for the receipts, the web version and both the mobile version, it is compatible to do printing of demo receipts. So you can use it whether you're in a physical location or you're just sending out invoices to your existing clients or the clients that you have. So with my accurate book, you're able to do segmented in several modules. As this is because every business might want to handle specific operations that vary from business to business. So for the features, we have inventory management, we have payment processing and transactions. We also have customer management, employee management, sales reportings. We also have integrations with solutions like eTIMS. And also we have built the solution with security in mind. So security in mind, this means that the data is protected through encryption. Once you're able to onboard on the solution on the system, it means that your data is only accessible by a user that has the password and the email to log in. So I'll go through a quick example of the sales or the invoices. So we have on the menu, you can see the menu on the left panel. We have the make sale, we have the quotations, we have the receipts, we have credit notes and receive payments. Now, these are very simplified solution. You don't need to have any accounting knowledge or to be an accountant to be able to use the solution. So for the make sale, I'll do a quick one. We have the invoices. We're able to get a list of all the invoices that have been made. For the business, we have the type of customer can either be a business or an individual customer. We also have the products and the services. So to demo how to make a sale or create an invoice, you're prompted with this screen. You can add items to the sale. I'll add a sample product. Then I'll also select a customer. Then we have the option to adjust the rate or the quantity for the product. So you can always choose to pay later or pay now. So the pay later is for those customers that you're invoicing or that are allowed to pay later. Then when you choose the pay now will generate a receipt that you'll issue to the customer. So I'll do the pay later. So you select the payment method. You can either choose the account which will receive the funds. Then you can choose the payment due and the delivery date. And then you're able to, you can also, if the customer paid a deposit, you can also include the deposit here. Then finally you create an invoice. So we have the two options here. After the invoice has been created, you get a summary of the items. So you can either choose to print the invoice or still download that you can share to the client. So that is a summary of how you make an invoice. So back to sales, you can always check the invoice that is the status unpaid. You can edit the invoice. Here you are able to view the invoice. You can either print if you are using a thermal printer. Then you can also edit, and at the same time issue a credit note against the invoice that you just created. Then for the other features, we have the quotations. So quotations, these are it's just a sale that has not yet been confirmed, or you have not yet agreed with the customer. So it's just a quick one. You can just create an invoice with the adding by items, adding the customer. Then also you get the PDF that you can share with the client. Then we have the receipts. So these are the cash sale receipts where they are that are fully paid for. Then we have the credit notes. And finally, we have the receive payments. That is under the sales module. So sales module is where you see if you had created an invoice that is pending, where you collect the payment and you're able to record the transaction for the invoice. On to the next module, we have the inventory. So we have the total items and total products rather than services. You can always see it's a very simple UI. It's a design. You can search by items or service. You can also filter by product category. And then we have the purchases and purchase orders. That includes debit notes and suppliers, as well as paying for the purchases. So for the purchase orders, very minimalist. See, you can just add a purchase order. Once you've added a purchase order, you can always edit it, or rather you can also approve it by changing the status to approved, which automatically converts it into a purchase order that you can share with your supplier. Then we also have debit notes for those items that are returned to the suppliers. We have the summary, the number, the total amount, and the purchases affected. Then finally, we have the purchases, suppliers, and finally, the pay purchases, which is paying your suppliers. Then the other bit we have is expense management. So here is where you add your expenses for the business or rather your operations. Then we have the customers. These are your customers that you already have a relationship with, that you either issue credit notes or receipts or invoices to them. We have the business customers and individual customers, and the summary of the total customers. And then we also have the employee management. So for the employee management is where you're able to issue roles and tasks in your business that they are able to perform. So you can choose to have an accountant, an admin, a sales person, and you also can get the reports for each of the employee. Then finally, on the reports, we have inventory. We have the inventory. Sorry about that. We have the inventory. Then we also have a profit and loss. So for the profit and loss, we have the expenses, we have total sales, we have the gross profits, and we have the net profit or net loss. So as you can see, the system is able to give you a summary of all your business reports with the whether you made a profit or whether you made a loss. It is very simplified. You don't have to have any explanations. The other report we have is the data report. So for the data report, these are the customers that owe your business. And that owe your business, you have the customer, the aging receivables, you have the 30 days, 60 and 90 days, and they are total. Then the other report we have is the creditors report. Sorry. Are you able to see my screen? Okay, let me see what is happening. Let me rectify on. Don't know if you're able to see my screen that I've shared. Okay, a moment, kindly. So Sorry for the interruption. Are you able to see my screen? Kindly confirm so that you can proceed. Sorry for the slight interruption. So I was on the debtors report. So the debtors report, these are the people that owe your business. Yes, you get the list of the customers with their summaries. So we have the we have the 30 days, 90 days, and 60-day summaries. Then finally the total. So you can always download as the Excel report or download it as a PDF. And then we have the creditors report. Is the same that you owe your suppliers. Then finally we have the sales report. So sales, you can always filter the start date and the end date. We have the sales with the client, the payment methods, the amount and the date. Also, you can opt to download or rather export as PDF or Excel file. It depends with what you need. So basically, that is an overview of my Accurate Books software. So it's also available as a mobile application, available in the Play Store under the name My Accurate Books. You can always check into the Play Store, download the app. It also has a very simplified UI. That you can interact with it. You can use it to record yourself. You can also use it to share your reports. When you want to share them via the available sharing options such as WhatsApp, either Gmail. It's a very simple process to onboard. I just show it. So you can see the eTIMS is on coming soon. It's finalizing the final integrations. So eTIMS will be available in the next update. Then also we have a wallet that is also will be available very soon. So the wallet will be able to collect the payments from your customers directly, and you can be able to separate your personal finances with your business finances, and as well you can also do operations. The wallet will also enable operations such as payroll and paying off the business expenses, including expenses such as petty cash. Then, so the next thing I'll be able to do, show the business profile. You can always add your logo so that the invoice that you have generated will include the logo and share to the customers. Then you can always add payment accounts, whether it is a bank, pay bill, send money, or rather the M-Pesa Pochi la Biashara. So I'll just show you how easy it is to onboard. And the onboarding itself, you can do it at the comfort of your mobile device or on the web. On the web, it's available at app.myacritbook.com. So this is the view that you get for logging in. You can either log in with email or phone number and the password. So for the sign up, you click on don't have an account, then you're able to fill the details. As you can see, we have the first name, we have the last name, your business name, the email, phone number, and the below information that includes your country, location, the type of currency, and the phone number. And as well, you can also add the business logo. So once you've onboarded, you'll be able to come to the login page, and you'll be able to log in to use the My Accurate Book software to manage your business operations. So that's it for the demo today. Thank you for your patience. Maybe I can answer a few questions from the demo, or other concerns. Maybe get to hear what's your feedback. You can ask those questions on the chat, and I'll be able to answer them. Okay, how much for the POS? So for the software, we have a monthly subscription fee of 500 Kenyan shillings. Yeah, but for the first month, you get free subscription. That is, you get the full package for free. But for the devices, either the mobile POS or the thermal printers, that you get them at an extra cost, but for the software, it's just 500 Kenya shillings. Okay, since there are no further questions, also, sorry, I'd like to, we usually have demos for the Okay, Sheila. Okay, so for the eTIMS, we are finalizing on integration so that you'll be able to onboard yourself to eTIMS when you are using My Accurate Books. It's not yet ready, but it's almost done. That is for the eTIMS integration. Okay, so we usually have demos on every Friday. You can always join us to get the full walkthrough of the system. An interactive one as you ask questions, get to see the full process being demoed, and you get to learn how to use My Accurate Books to manage or streamline your business operations. So thank you so much. If you have any other questions, you can still ask them on the chat, or rather call us via our contact support number. It's available on the website, myaccuratebook.com, and we'll be able to assist on where you need our help. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.